You don't understand any of this, do you? It's Greek to me, you say. Sometimes that may be a reaction to a lecture or textbook.
A lot of time information comes in a package, but it doesn't make sense to you. We're all different, and you have to figure out what works best for you. A lot of times making an organizer, organizing that information in a vastly different way.
For example, take pages of text and turn it into an outline, or a chart of one kind or another, a diagram, or a timeline. You learn by breaking down the information and then putting it back together to suit yourself.
And then that information starts making sense, and you can do that with almost anything.
For example, here's 4 pages of information about flu drugs on a federal government website. And here's most of it reorganized into a chart. Shading or coloring the categories may also help you remember the information, and help you if you get a compare and contrast question on the exam. In science, you need to know information, of course, but you may also have to use it to label a diagram on the test. Study it that way too. Same for geography.
Taking a geography class right now, and we're learning maps. And what I didn't know at the first quiz was that he gives a word list. And so you change the way you study, knowing that you're going to have a list of everything you're going to have to label. And so it's just knowing what he's going to ask for. Each class is really different.
As this English class analyzes a novel, the prof discusses themes, people, and plot lines. So you might sketch out something like this to sort out the different characters and their role in each theme. You might do something similar when studying relationships between historical figures and events. In history, consider making a timeline.
It just depends on the class. I'm taking a Western Civilizations class right now, and he's made up front that dates aren't important. He wants to know the order of things, but dates aren't important.
A timeline in history is really interesting to look at. This happened first, and because this happened, this caused this, and then this, that, and that kind of information organizes it.
Here's an example. Let's assume I'm taking a course on the events that led up to the September 11th attack. The textbook, the official report issued by the 9/11 Commission. I take the report's chapter titles and reorganize them into a multi-level timeline stretching over a period of years. Then I add key events in each level of the timeline. The process of figuring out what information to put into the timeline helps me learn it. At the same time, I get a different view of the events and maybe a perspective I couldn't see on the written page. Use poster board or a flip chart for your timeline if there's too much information to fit onto a piece of paper. Whatever the tool, it helps organize the information in your brain. And
your brain remembers organized information better than it does scattered information.
Here's a summary of ways to reformat information. Turn pages of text into charts, graphs, diagrams, or some other visual. Label a picture, sketch, or drawing for some classes, and make a timeline for others.